I gave you the truth, would it keep you alive? Though I'm closer to wrong, I'm no further from right. And now I'm convinced on the inside something's
Tea Party
wrong.
Boot Camp Radio on 940 KYNO, where liberty and reason rule.
Welcome back to Tea Party Boot Camp Radio. I'm your host, Steve Wayte, and on the line with me is Richard Gage, and Richard is the founder of Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth. Richard, a lot of people would say talking about these type of issues on the eve of the 10th anniversary of 9/11 is disrespectful, yet you've been in contact with a lot of the families. What are your feelings on that?
Well, we have a dozen family members of those lost on 9/11 supporting us quite actively. In fact, three of them appear in our new film that you mentioned, 9/11 Explosive Evidence Experts Speak Out. And by the way, if people can't make it to your showing of that film to see those family members and the psychologists that appear in the program and the experts, they can see the movie on our website, which is 9/11 expertsspeakout.org. That's 911expertsspeakout.org. We think, and the family members we're in touch with, believe that what will get to the healing of the loss of their loved ones is the truth. Not sweeping the truth under the rug. That has not served our country. It has only served to bring us into two major wars in which over 1 million people have perished. If the roots of 9/11 are in question, and with a controlled demolition of 3 skyscrapers, they are indeed that. And the roots of these wars, which 9/11 precipitated, are also in question. And so it's a far bigger issue than trying to avoid upsetting a few family members. Again, these family members will require the truth eventually for their healing.
Well, and people forget, Richard, without the Jersey Girls, which were all women who lost their husbands on 9/11, there may never have been an original 9/11 Commission report, because the Bush administration reluctantly finally did authorize a investigation of 9/11, but it was more than a year after the fact. And then when the Jersey Girls submitted their 150 plus questions, the commission really was unable to answer more than half of them.
Yes, that's true. They didn't answer these questions, and they didn't even ask them. The Jersey Girls are, in fact, among our petition signers, and so we have a letter from them, and we're just honored to have the level of support that we do. They are concerned about the evidence in the Twin Towers also that the architects and engineers are. We're talking about, what we're told is jet plane impacts and fires brought these towers down, but what we see in the videos is something quite different. The upper portion of this building, in the North Tower, for instance, above the point of jet plane impacts, we're told drove the rest of the building down to the ground because of that massive weight. But we see it's destroying itself in the first 4 seconds in a miniature controlled demolition, if you will. Very similar to World Trade Center 7. It's imploding within. After 4 seconds, there's nothing left to drive the rest of the building down at any speed. It's accelerating, in fact, straight down through the path of greatest resistance, the 80,000 tons of structural steel in this building. And while it's doing that, it's hurling 4-ton perimeter wall units at incredible speeds instantly, laterally, 70 miles an hour out the side of the Twin Towers, landing up to 600 feet away. There's explosions going off 20, 40, 60 stories below this activity. This is an extremely explosive event that's responsible for the total destruction of both towers. All the structural members almost are dismembered from each other. This is extraordinary. Remember, gravity works downward. We're told that this is a gravitational collapse. And so we've been looking for 110 floors somewhere, concrete floors, somewhere down at the bottom of these towers, and yet we don't find 50, we don't find 20, we don't find one floor down there. There's a two-story pile of core columns, perimeter columns, aluminum cladding, miscellaneous debris. Where are the floors? Where's the concrete? We're talking about 90,000 tons of concrete, which is pulverized in midair. We're seeing that, and that pulverization is reducing the particle size down to 100 microns. This is like talcum powder. And so this talcum powder is fine, very fine, and lands in a 3 square mile around lower Manhattan. And it has not only those previously molten iron microspheres found by the USGS, but they find unignited thermite, and not just any ordinary thermite. These are small red-grade chips found by this international team of scientists led by Niels Harrit in Copenhagen. Mm-hmm. The red side of these chips is extraordinary. It's composed of extremely small particles of iron oxide and aluminum powder. These are intimately mixed in the perfect percentage ratio to become thermite, which we discussed before, which releases 4,500 degree temperatures in molten iron. So why are these high-tech nanothermite composite explosives found in all the World Trade Center dust? They should not be there, the dust samples.
Well, Richard, Richard, I've only got about 30 seconds left. I got to wrap up the show. I appreciate all the time you've given to us. That's Richard Gage from Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth. His website is ae911truth.org. There's also going to be a showing of his new movie, 9/11 Explosive Evidence, Experts Speak Out, at the Fresno County Public Library tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and at the Woodward Park Regional Library on September 14th at 6:45. That's all the time we have today. Thank you for listening to Tea Party Boot Camp Radio. God bless America, and never forget.